All right, more Saints analysis now. Kendall Duncan, Mike Detillier, draft expert from the Saints flagship radio network. Thank you so much for being here. You have done extensive research on all the players in the draft going back years and years and years. Just your thoughts. Let's start with Jamal Williams. What were your thoughts when he came out of BYU? Your thoughts on his signing?
I always thought he'd be part of kind of a combo, and he has been. You look at Green Bay, he was part of a combo there with Aaron Jones. He goes to Detroit, part of a combo with DeAndre Swift. He comes here, Alvin Kamara's here, but he may have to be the lead guy because we all know, no matter what, Kamara's going to get suspended. If it's 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, that's to be determined. But, man, he's a heavy-duty runner when he needs to be. Runs well between the tackles. He's got some scoot. He's got some genetics. His mom was a former sprinter at UCLA. And he understands his role, which I think is sometimes super important. Also, he can pass protect. And I think on this team, you're going to be asked to do it a lot. Also, he can catch the ball pretty solid coming out of the backfield. Great pickup. I thought he was the top running back in the free agency board. Surprised the Saints got him. I thought he would go back to Detroit, to be honest with you.
You mentioned that. He talked about how he felt his offer from Detroit was a little disrespectful. So I feel like he and Derek Carr are going to come in with a little chip on their shoulder, something to prove. Other two guys that picked up defensive tackles, Nathan Shepard, Kalen Saunders. Do you feel like they still address the defensive tackle need early in the draft, or they let that go to like round 3 or 4?
No, I think they address it early. The Greeks settled this years ago. You get a chance to pick a really talented big guy or a really talented smaller guy, you go with the big man. Okay, you only got 2 defensive tackles on your roster that you could kind of line up today with. Defensive tackle is still a need position. I think defensive end, what people aren't taking into account here is the pass rush. Caden Ellis got off the edge last year, and that was something Ryan Nielsen came up with to help. Because remember, early, they weren't getting a consistent pass rush. Later in the season, they were. Can Zach Bond take that spot? Because that's what he did a lot at Wisconsin. We'll see about that. But I think defensive tackle, defensive end, however you want to look at it, along with interior offensive line. Somebody that can either play guard tackle, guard center, and in round 2, I wouldn't be surprised they go in that spot.
Is there a surprise position that you may look at in the draft that we're not talking about as big of a need as maybe they think it is? I look at it and say safety. I love the way Tyron played at the end of last season. I think Marcus May is just scratching the surface. But I know Dennis Allen has traditionally played a lot of 3 safety defense. Could that be where they go early, even if it's not 29, maybe if it's 40 or 71?
I would see it a little bit later. It's a position, you got to know what you're doing in that spot. And Chauncey, he was a rare guy. He came in here, hey, I got it. I understand it. Not a lot of guys are like that. I agree with you. Somewhere in the first 4 to 5 picks, I think they'll pick a safety. I think maybe what we kind of getting away from, wide receiver. Because of the fact you have 2 speed burners out there, okay? Rashid Shaheed 1. Olave, you got to put him as a speed guy. Michael Thomas, man, he'd be a great addition if he can stay healthy on this team. But are you going to get him for 17 games? And when you lose him, you lose that contested catch guy. And so for me, wide receiver or tight end. This is the best tight end draft. I've done this 36 years now. It is the absolute best. It would not shock me that they pick a tight end in round 1. There are 4 guys with first-round pick grades as tight ends. What if that guy falls to you late in round 1? I'd love to put Juwan in the slot, have me a guy that can actually really run block. Give me Darnell Washington from Georgia. He looks much bigger with the 0, but he's a big man to begin with. I think that may be a surprise.
Do you think there's any chance the Saints draft a developmental quarterback? They re-sign Jameis, they get Derek Carr. Do you think they still address the quarterback?
Yes, depending on who's available. The guy for me would be if Hendon Hooker from Tennessee is still there in round 2, he does not get past me. Because I know I have Derek Carr for 2 years. Because that's basically what the contract says, unless he really hits it. Then you keep him for year 3 and 4. If not, I got to find me a young quarterback. Hendon Hooker is the guy. I think other than Bryce Young, There is no one else more prepared to play in the NFL today mentally and accuracy-wise, poised, than Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. Now, he is coming off the knee injury. How quickly he can come back remains to be seen on that. Optimistic, he could be there. But if he gets there in round 2, he's not passing me. I'll pick him.
Sounds like he's been talking to Sharif.
I was just going to say, Sharif Ishak loves Hendon Hooker. I covered the LSU-Tennessee game last year. He is definitely.
Yeah, he's still throwing completions in that game.
He's a special player. All right, she's Kendall Duncan, Mike Detillier. Great insight as always. Thank you so very
Appreciate
much.
it.